Good day, people. This is the Awareness Outreach Messages coming to you again, speaking to our community of the lifelong meal planning um, with the weekly weight loss tips and shared program that we've been sharing with you that we got from God from praying for the method on how to take back control over your health and your life and your weight loss and maintaining it. I wanted to come today, so just bear with me. This is Reverend Cece. I am coming with you kind of like in a contemplative stage. I hope I don't sound like I'm down or anything, but I'm in serious thought, or have been in serious thought about since I brought the last update, and it was about, and I'm trying to record in two different places, so bear with me if I have any mistakes here. But I wanted to come back, and I just sent out a message about a week ago to bring you an update, and I gave you some of the sample menus that I used when I lost the 18 pounds in 34 days. And I try to be as transparent, and of high integrity at all times, because that's the life I live. I'm a Christian, and I'm a Christian pastor, minister, counselor, etc. And but I'm human just like everyone else, and I would not have came upon the lifelong meal planning with weekly weight loss had I not been in need of it for myself. And so that's how the prayer came out unto God, and how I got the lifelong meal planning strategy that I've been sharing with you guys ever since I lost the 18 pounds. God told me to share it with you, and I did. And I've been doing that, and I tried to give you examples that you can come up with your own as to how to set up your strategy. The strategy is the same. What you use is different. Different food, because you like different foods than I like. And basically that's it. And I told you one thing I keep, if you listen to the videos or go back over them, and you'll hear a repeating theme of mine is that it's easy to lose the weight, you guys. It's very easy. This is my second plan in my, I would say, my recent lifestyle in God, that I've asked God for. The other plans that worked in my past, I didn't particularly ask God for. It was a different time in my life and things like that. So the last two times, one was in the early 2000s, and then the recent one that I just talked to you guys about, that gave us the lifelong meal planning strategy with weekly weight loss. And I think it's the best one, you guys. Even though I have the 23 days to a brand new you, which is a Daniel fast based weight loss program that it works in 21 days. I'm telling you, you could lose up to 60 pounds at least. 35 to 60 pounds in that. But the thing is that I want you to not so focus on that particular program, even though if you want it, it's available. It's on one of the videos. I showed it to you, and if you want the laminated copy of it, I'll send it to you. If you give me a little donation, I'll send it to you, because I have to make them. And that's the only thing I'm asking you for. The thing is, that's not the plan that I am bringing to you, that God told me to bring to you now. The lifelong meal planning strategy with weekly weight loss, 2 to 4 pounds weekly weight loss, guaranteed, is what we've been talking about, is what I brought to you. And it does work. The other one works too. If you want a crash 21-day thing, then you might want to go for the 23-day. But I'm not going to be talking about that in most of the videos. I'm going to be talking about the lifelong, because and let me say, both plans are involve no exercise, involves no membership dues or payments for food or anything like that. My plans that God gave me uses your regular foods, nothing that you have to buy, and nothing, no program or company program that you have to join. I just consider you a part of the community that I'm reaching out to and that I'm sharing this with. And my blessings come from the Lord. I don't look to make, I'm a big fan about not making money off of people's problems, and I know in some ways that sounds a little ludicrous, but in a lot of ways it doesn't, because most times nowadays people are, and I'll say not just today, in our lifetime, people make money off of other people's problems, and it has a good theory behind that. If you want to make money, you need to solve a problem. And rich people will tell you that. People who have, been very successful and stuff, and that's what they did. They found problems that people needed results for, and they solved them. And then they sold the rights, to give that away to people. And it costs money, to make things and stuff. So you can't fault people for everything. You can't put them down for making money off of many things that do help people. But as you can see, the key there was helping people. I'm talking about gaining control in your life over your health, your issues of weight loss and weight management, and meal planning, a lifestyle of eating that is satisfactory to you and brings you pleasure and happiness, and less of the struggle, and less wasted money going out the door to this product and that product that we've all tried, that anybody that has an issue with weight, or healthy weight, lost. And we have spent so much money in trying to find the right thing. And those of us who have it tied to diseases like diabetes, and we spend money, believing people to be of integrity and to sell us a product that works. And none of them have worked. We might come close to something that works sometimes, or works in one way and it doesn't work in another way. So, God is letting us know through the plans that He has given us, and through my Christian walk with God, He lets us know that He has the answers, and the answers are available to us. It's whether or not we want to seek God for them, those of us who are Christians. But I'm telling you, God provides stuff for everyone, whether you are saved or whether you are not saved. That means whether you're Christian or you're not Christian, okay? But those that are a Christian will benefit the most, because they already have an established relationship with God, or they started one and they're building on it. And that's the best place to be, because you're going to get the most help, you're going to get the most benefits and the most blessings and things of that nature. But those that do not know God and are not a Christian, you can come into a right relationship with God through the means of me sharing this program with you, these strategies and tips with you, and our friendship with you through the Lord, having us on social media doing this. And like I said, I wouldn't be on here if He didn't ask me to share things with people, because I really was not a fan of doing the social media thing, okay? But I do recognize that it has benefits. I use social media, YouTubing, because it brings, when I'm looking for something, or if I want to understand something better, it has served in that manner, to help me with things. I'm an avid do-it-yourselfer. I like doing things, and I used to work for a home improvement company for some years, and I loved it. And so I do find that it has been beneficial. But I also found, know the downside of stuff too. Don't just, blow the trumpet on all the good stuff. Also blow the trumpet on this downside of it, because you can try a lot of things on there and a lot of things will not work. Okay? A lot of things will not work. For instance, I accidentally got some stain on my siding on my house when I was staining and sealing my new wooden fence. Okay? I didn't put up the tape and stuff to protect. I really didn't have any, but I could have got some and put it up there, or got some plastic and taped it up there to protect my house, and I didn't do it. And the reason why I didn't do it wasn't because I didn't know. I was just tired. I do a lot of work, to maintain my property and to improve it and stuff, so that, because you shouldn't just live in a house and just live in it. If you don't take care of it, if you don't improve its value and stuff like that, you don't deserve to have a house. Really, and now if you can't do it yourself, I ain't talking about just doing it yourself. I'm talking about if you have the money to pay somebody else to improve your home and things like that, then you should be doing that. You should not be a homeowner and you do nothing to your home. Okay? And I'm not talking about people who can't. I'm talking about people who have a means or a ways to do that. And as long as I'm physically able, I'm going to try, to do things. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, like I said. I love doing stuff like that inside and outside my home. And I'm a project person, I've done a lot of different things in my life, and a lot of it through ministry outreach and helping other people. So I use my gifts and my talents and skills, and I shared it with other people. That's how I started, reaching out, doing outreach for people and outreach to people, because I just felt like I was blessed and been endowed to do things that other people couldn't do, and I shared it with others. And if they wanted to pay me for it, or if I was supposed to charge them for it, then that's what I did. If I was supposed to do it for free, then that's what I did. And a lot of things that I do for free. For instance, I have y'all, if you check some of my other videos, there's a free wedding ceremony that we do. We started it this year, and it was a backyard wedding, and it was free. The ceremony's free. The gifts and the cake and things of that nature is free. All you have to do is go register for your license and contact us, and we will do the wedding for you. Now, we also let you know that it wouldn't be just outside. It started outside. For the summer months, it started outside, but it is going to continue into the colder months and the winter months. So it's going to end up being all year round. And these are free wedding ceremonies for people who can't afford big weddings, and expensive weddings and things like that. And people who would like to get married and have a memorable occasion. I promise you, we can make it memorable for you. And so, and it's all free. And so you will have the things that you can. The only thing we can't do is send you on a honeymoon, and unless somebody donates a gift to us to do that for someone. And we will be checking into things like that as time goes by to see what else we can offer free to people. Okay? And then with this COVID thing going on, so when we do the ceremony, we will do it, and we will keep you in protection. We will keep ourselves in protection, so we will be COVID-19 safety guidelines will be in fact. But the wedding is just for you and a couple of guests of yours, okay? And then where they're going to park at from where we're having it at the house. This house was bought. It used to be a residential housing for emergency and long term. And we shut it down in about 2017, I believe. We went from 2009 to 2017, and so we're maintaining the house, okay? And so I still do ministry, wherever ministry assignments and outreach, and things of that nature from this location. And so we are holding this house down, and we're still using it to, we believe this, we're supposed to use it, our location, for ministry. And so we're doing that, and we're continuing to do that to the community around us. And so you can have your after party somewhere, or your people can meet you. You could have it over at the park. There's a couple of parks just across the street from us, less than a couple of minutes away, things of that nature. So, and it's free. I'm performing it. I'm an ordained, so I'm the clergy. And so I'm also the counselor that you'll speak to. And we're giving it to people who may be, income bound, as far as, you can't afford a big wedding. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want you to know that this is something God had talked to me about I'll say a few years back, when I was outside working in the yard, and just, home improving, improving the property here, and things like that. And while I was working out in the I always say it wrong, the Pergado. Okay. I was working out there, and some of the boards on it were coming loose. One was down and rotted out, and because I took this property in 2011. This is like my third home I've owned, and so I was replacing, the wood beams and things like that, and then I painted it and everything. And then I wanted to decorate it. I wanted it to look nice, because all pergolias look nice, and they should look nice. But while I was out there doing it, I started getting visions about doing weddings out there, and I just talked to the Lord about it, and He was like, yeah, but He didn't release me to do them until this year. So, and that gave me time to work on the area. The yard is totally different than what it was when we first, started. And so now we have a privacy fencing around as of last year. And like I got to finish staining that. And I was telling you about accidentally getting stain and stuff on my home. So, I do a lot of do-it-yourselfer stuff. And I try to share whatever God gives me with other people. Not that I have to, but if He puts on my heart to share it, then that's what I do. And I'm a giver. I love to share. And so I share where the Lord gives me wisdom to do that at. Okay? So today I'm coming, and I wanted to talk to you, like I said, about the lifelong meal planning strategy with weekly weight loss. And I told you that losing the weight is the easy part. Anybody can lose the weight, 2 to 4 pounds a week, following some of the ideals and strategies of the plan that I gave you. You're coming up with your own meal planning for 4 to 5 days a week. On day 6 and 7, you either take those days off and eat regular meals, or on day 7, you meal planning for 6 days, and on day 7 you're eating regular whatever you want. Okay? And the meal planning is the same as an intermittent fast. Okay? And our intermittent fast, like I told you in other videos, is where you eat, but you're eating foods. I suggest for those who really want to see the weight loss, I suggest that you liquefy your meal planning as high as you can, and that means mostly you're going to be intaking your food in mostly liquid forms. I use soups. If you look at some of my meals, I use soups on them, but it wasn't only soups. And for breakfast things, I use like oatmeal. Those are still liquefied foods. You know what I'm saying? And my calorie range as a female was between 1,000 and 1,500 calories per meal. Okay, per day. I'm sorry, I think I said that right. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack. So that's like 4 meals, and you have up to 1,500 calories, to expend. And then I found out once I saw that was kind of high. The 1,500 was kind of high. I broke it down to 1,200. So I didn't. I tried not to go past 1,200, but I still gave myself a leeway to the 1,500 on days when I was trying out and experimenting other kinds of foods that may have more calories in them. Okay, and then on my day off, my regular meal day, I ate whatever I want, whether we ate out, whether we barbecued, whatever. And you can do this for the rest of your life. You can achieve your weight loss, okay, at a safe pace, and one that you can see and watch. And your journal is your meal planning. That's why I showed you the sheets that I copied out of a book I bought on Amazon. I haven't even wrote in the book. I just bought the book and I saw the plan, and I made copies of it, and I made sheets of it so that I can keep my own copy. I blew it up, and I made a little journal out of it, and I call it a journal for your meal planning, your lifelong meal planning, because you're going to learn so much stuff from it. And you need to, read the back of your products. You do need to count calories for your meal planning days, because it's going to help you. After a while, you're going to get so good at it that you're not even going to need to do that, but you're going to just know, because you've done it enough times, you've written it down enough times, and after a while, you're not going to have to do it anymore. And usually it only takes about 21 days to learn a new habit, or to break a habit, or to learn a new habit, okay, or to learn something, and so, or to unlearn something. So just think of that, and I liked it because it told you about yourself. It talks to you. It teaches you things. And I wrote notes on the back of my meal planning sheets, when I wanted to try a different product and I wanted information at my fingertips about it. So I would write it down on the back, things that I tried. So, it's pretty good. Now, I wanted to come today. I told y'all last time I came to you, which was last week probably. I wanted to tell you, I told you about a program that I watched. They did a study on the foods that we eat today. And I talked to you guys about the buzz about the sugar, and how the big boys in the food industry has been secretly adding sugars, different forms of sugars, into our foods to get people hooked on them, to get people to like their foods better than their competitors. And so this is the reason why we're seeing really, we have a pandemic in obesity, and in medical diseases that come from obesity, such as diabetes. And actually, diabetes didn't come from that, but it is what we're seeing today is where it's coming from. Okay, but the real culprit is the hidden sugars and things that these big food companies have been putting in their foods and lying to the public. And now the public is hooked on this stuff, and that's why you got kids that are big, weighing 200 pounds, and they're just a child. They're still in grammar school, and they're that big, and things of that nature. So I just admonish you to Google it so you can find the program that they did, and they got the big companies together, and they told them that they're going to sue them if they don't do something to help turn this around, because they're the ones who did it. And they have done a study to find out that this is what's been going on, and this is the reason why we have seen obesity rate go through the roof, diabetes go through the roof, and all the other sicknesses and illnesses that are tied into that. And so now the people, you see, that's what I mean, and that's what gets my heart, is that shame on them. I knew that something was going on, and I kept making observations about our children being so big, and different things like that, and all these people all of a sudden getting diabetes, and it's not even in their family. And I'm just saying, the only people I knew that was getting diabetes when I was coming up, and as I got older, was people that had it already in their family. And it wasn't like a normal thing. And nowadays it's like a normal thing for people to have diabetes, and that's wrong. And with what has happened, the people who have it in their families, those people don't even have a chance, because they already have a influence within their family system, in their family bodily system, health system, that is already prone to getting diabetes. And so with all this stuff going on in the foods and stuff today, you don't even have a chance. You have to do something to change this. And you can keep paying these companies who are not really helping people. They help a few people, but for the most part, it's not enough people for them to be gaining the amount of money that they be gaining off of people's obesity and poor health, due to out of control weight management. Okay, we never used to have this issue at all, and so now it's like an epidemic. Okay, and I'm being nice with the way that I'm saying it. I'm sounding like I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but that's already passed. They are guilty of doing this stuff, and some of us already knew it. But you know how you know stuff and you don't know what to do about it. So a lot of you probably knew some of this stuff and you didn't know what to do about it. But now you know. You got it. God does not leave us powerless. But you have to know God. You have to have God in your life in order to protect you from what's happening in the world around us. We have evil in this world. We came into this world with sinful ways, behaviors, and thoughts and ideas, and we released it onto other people in this world. Okay, so we're not innocent either in how we do and how we live and how we treat other people. So it's true. So if we doing it on an individual basis, that the big companies have bamboozled the people of the world, the people of society with their products and things in order to make the money and the gains that they wanted to do. Okay, but we don't want you to focus on that per se. We want you to know the truth, but we don't want you to get bent on that, because sometimes people hear the truth and then they get so upset with what really has happened and they say, well, it's not even my fault. And no, it wasn't your fault. It really wasn't. And that's what that study revealed, is that it's not people's faults that they're having these issues. The diabetes or none of it. It's not their fault. It's the companies who make the food who have done this. And they are threatening to take them to court, like they took the tobacco companies to court when they knew that that their cigarette nicotine was addictive, and they did not report the findings of what would happen to people if they used the tobacco products. And so they sued them, and they won, and people are still getting paid off because of, they made all this buku money off of people. And people have dying with lung disease and have died with cancer and stuff, from using cigarette products, tobacco products. Okay, and that's just like a parasite on the population. And the population is a guinea pig for these companies who come up with these products to make money, but at what expense? At your expense, at the expense of your health, at the expense of your very life, because people are dying because of these products that they are coming up with and using and putting out there as if it was safe and all great and all this. And so I'm just telling you that, God gave me this plan for lifelong meal planning, so that you could take back control over what's happening in your life. Okay, and that you don't have to pay anybody, whether it's Minnie Craig or any other kind of diet program that you see every day on the commercials. You don't have to buy special foods. You don't need someone to make those special foods for you. The only real special food that you can do for yourself, which is still be free, except for the work and energy you have to put into it. And if you are a person who has a green thumb, and then it might be right up your alley. You might want to, if you have your own property, you might want to start planting your own foods. Find out the foods that'll grow in your area where you live, and begin to start planning your food, because the only way you're going to get away from the sugars, the hidden sugars that are in the foods from these big companies, and it's in all foods, y'all, not some, all. You got to get that. And so, and you don't know what it's called. Even if you knew it, you wouldn't be able to trace them all, because they have been so highly disguised, so that you could not find them. Okay, but they're there. But the investigation on these foods and on the company and on the problem with diabetes and all the health conditions that came from the obesity and everything, they did this investigation, and they found out that these companies are at fault, and it's them who did it. And they walked out on them at the in the investigation. The big companies walked out and said they didn't want to hear any more about it. You know, that they've done their due diligence, so they say. But they're going to end up in court over this, you know, because they're killing people, and it's affecting the medical profession as well, because the Food and Drug Administration, the health department of our nation and our societies, they're not going to be able to continue to sponsor and provide all this medication for all these people that are coming up with obesity and diabetes and things like that, because most people aren't going to be able to pay for it, all that medication and the things that are needed to just maintain, because they just going to maintain you until you die. They can't cure you. They can't do anything for you. So, you know, I know you might like your doctors or your hospital or your clinics or whoever, but they ain't doing nothing but maintaining your obesity. They ain't doing nothing but maintaining your disease, you know, and stuff, your diseases, because that's what they're doing. But they need money to do that. So the doctors are starting to say, hey, you know what? We're going to blow the whistle on this, because we don't have the money to keep this up. We need money, you know, and so we need to do something to turn this around, so that we will stop wasting all this money on maintaining people who are going to die anyway, you know, because of what has happened to them in society and by society, so through these companies and corporations. So I just wanted to, you know, bring you that update. But then I have another part I wanted to talk to you about today. Today, like I said, I hope my heart didn't sound heavy, because I've been heavily contemplating over the fact that I had done a study in my counseling degree program on motivation, you know, and I found out about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and it's like inner and outer forms of motivation. What motivates you to do what you do? What motivates you not to do what you do? You know what I'm saying? So I really liked that area, because when I went back to grad school, I wanted to find out how to help people in a more effective way. Because when we had our housing program, we didn't just provide a place for them to live. They worked, each one person had a particular program that was customized to them to help them with their particular needs, okay? Also to counsel them through and bring them out of, you know, because you have to you bring people into awareness as to what's triggering the problems that they've been having in their lives. And a lot of the people that we got had family of origin problems, such as child abuse, sexual child abuse. We got a lot of people that came in from that. And the reason why that seems to be such a big issue is because it affects so many areas of your life. So it affects how you relate to the world around you. So therefore, if you've had that happen to you in your childhood, if your parents weren't there for you, if they did not nurture you properly, you know, if you just had any kind of disruption in your human development in childhood, you're going to have some personal problems with people and relationships and things of that nature, okay? And that includes, most of all, any kind of sexual abuse that you may have had, whether it was incest, rape, whatever, you know, it could have been, okay? Molestation, whatever, okay? It affects how you relate in the world. It affects your relationship with yourself, and with others. So it's a really big problem. And so those are the things that we had to help them deal with. And those are the areas that we use spiritual guidance and helps in that area. And then we also worked with the problems that came from that. Like, for instance, somebody may have kept getting fired on their job, and they couldn't figure out why. They could get a job, they were qualified, they were good, and but then they would lose it because of their relationship on the job with either coworkers, a lot, and then with bosses. And so they would eventually lose their job because of that. And then there was people who was not able to maintain, these same people were not able to maintain a place of residence. They may have an apartment, or they may have had a roommate in a place, to live. They got in, with a person that, whether they were a couple or whether they were just friends, and they were sharing residential living, whether it's apartment, townhome, whatever. And they were having problems getting along with the person that they were living with. They were fine and they were friends and they thought, oh, this is going to be great. But then when they got together, the longer they stayed together, the worse things got. And generally it was because one of those people was having issues, relational issues, whether generally from abuse, from their background, and they never, a lot of times, especially if you're a minority in society today, you have been through a lot of different things, and really it's abuse. All of it's abuse. And you did not get to go to see a psychiatrist or a counselor or anything like that, when it happened to you. And so you just looked around at everybody else, in your environment, and you said, oh, well, this is what they do. You get up and you go on. You keep going on for the most part. But you're not healed. Nobody tended to the wounds that was inflicted upon you, during those childhood years and during your developmental years. And so you took the damage on into your adult life. And we have a lot of adults who are just children, grown children, with brokenness, broken hearts, depression, all kinds of things going on within them mentally and emotionally, and they can't sustain marriages or relationships and jobs, anything that has to do with relationship. And that's how society is. We're relational beings, human beings. We got to relate to other people. So, but if that part of you is broken, you got problems, So, we ended up taking in people with those kind of credentials. They had, or if you want to call it credentials or background characteristics, and they got referred to us, by personal individuals that knew of our program, and maybe a ministry out, church or something might have referred them to us because that's what we do. Okay, and so we worked on every aspect of their living. They got their jobs back, or they got new jobs. They learned tools and ways. They learned about themselves and what was really going on with them and how to fix it. We use a Christian program based on biblical principles for living and to rebuild their lives with, so that they can find out how life really is supposed to be for them, and how good it really is supposed to be to them, and then help them to walk in that place, and then help them to reestablish any other areas that were broken, whether it was employment, whether they wanted to go back to school, or whether they had a family and they wanted to reconnect to that family, whatever their situations were, we helped them with those things. And or if they had any other kind of situations like drug addictions or something like that, we could not help them with that. We had to refer them out. So we had a referral program that referred them out for other services, and we did that for them and with them, and we followed them, and they can stay in the program from 6 months to a year. If they wanted to continue with the program beyond that, they had to become a worker in the program. So that means they were giving back. And we had people who did that as well. And we had people who returned to the program. because they felt like they needed more, and they fell back and they started having problems again, especially financial problems. So they fell back into that, because if you got financial problems, you're going to have a problem maintaining a residence. Okay, whether you're living with somebody or whether you're living by yourself, if you don't know how to maintain your finances and things of that nature, and you don't know how to get to the bottom of what's really wrong, then you're going to be a headache for somebody to live with, and you're not going to be able to maintain your bills and things of that nature. So you're always going to be going through drama, and trauma, because of it, and always in need of help. So we tried to help you see what was really going on, find out what works for you, and then help you walk through it so you can take over the controls of it, and then you can go on about your business. You can leave the program, or whatever you wanted to do from there, and that's how it worked. But when about halfway through, I think, I went back to graduate school because I was coming out of one program that trained leaders, especially church leaders, pastors, and stuff like that, but not just limited to that. They would train anybody who wanted the training. But it was I became a facilitator of inner healing, because these are wounds that people were inflicted with in childhood. Generally, that's where it all starts at. The people, especially the people we're talking about, and the people with these kinds of issues, it goes all the way back into their childhood. Something happened, okay? And I know sometimes, we don't get it, and we think that, well, my parents didn't violently abuse me. They didn't sexually abuse me, but they neglected you in other ways. You were not nurtured, or you didn't receive that nurturing and nature and nurturing dynamics that makes a healthy child. A healthy child grow up into a healthy human being. And if you were absent parent, absent in your emotions, or if your parents weren't there and somebody else was raising you, and things of that nature. So there's other things that disrupt that human development era in childhood, and it's very important, to know just how fragile that time period is. And so if the wrong things are going on during that time, then that child is going to have problems, and that child becoming an adult is going to have problems in adulthood. So that's what I learned that through my graduate studies. And I'm glad that I went back to school, because that's what I went back for, was to find out. But I did the facilitating program, certificate program, so that I could be a facilitator. But then I thought that would be good enough, and that was not. By the time I finished that program, it was a year program, but by the time I finished that program, I had discovered that I need to go back to school, in order to achieve what the kind of help and knowledge and understanding. I was looking for other ways to help people develop what they need, in order to sustain. Because I could teach you how to do something, but I can't teach you how to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? You might go through our program, and it might work for you, and you go on down the road and it's working for you for years. You're set. But then another person may only work for them for 6 months, or another person, it may only work for them for a year, and then they're calling us up again, and letting us know what's happening with them. And so I wanted to be able to have the skills, or additional skills, I should say, to help. And when I was doing my studies and my graduate work, research, what I was finding out was that motivation is a key. Motivation, and I didn't really, most of us think we know what motivation is. It's what moves you to do what you do. It's the simplest explanation you can say, right? But there's more to it than that. And until you understand it, as a person, as a facilitator, as a clergy person, pastor, whatever, counselor. I'm a life event counselor, life coach. mentor, I can't help you if I don't know how to rightly use a tool like motivation. And everybody, you say, well, tool, motivation as a tool. Yeah, motivation is a tool that we all have. Now, how much of it we have is where you're going to see the differences. But everybody has motivation. Internal motivation, what they call intrinsic, and external motivation, what they call extrinsic. EX is outside. IN is inside, okay? And I was asking God, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be very transparent here. When I had gotten sick since I've been doing these videos with you guys, and I had to take some time off from my lifelong meal planning strategy. And I told you what I do when I get sick, or if I'm having a problem. I came down with some infection, and it was just like out of nowhere, and boom. And it's the kind of infection that knocks you off your feet. So it took me about a month to get back on track or get back up again, and, trying to put all the normal stuff back in place. So, and then in the meantime, I was also trying to stain my fence outside, and all kind of house and yard projects, landscaping projects, and things were going on after I got well enough to get back out there. So when I have all these things happening, I have to just put aside. And I told you, don't be trying to do a bunch of new things at one time, because you're going to fail. It's too much, and even if you're good at multitasking, it's too much. And the reason why I'm saying that is because even if you do it for a while, eventually it's going to fall off or fall apart, okay? And so, or something's going to suffer. So anyway, I let the meal planning go, okay? Because I basically know how to eat and stuff, because of all the plans and projects and stuff that I've done over the years. But at the same time, I'm human. I got weaknesses just like anybody else. And so if I stay off the plan too long, or for any plan too long, if I just start eating junky, then I'm going to get in trouble. Not only am I going to regain the weight that I lost, and I think I regained maybe 4 pounds, something like that. I'm not real sure, but I think it's about 4 pounds out of the 18 that I lost. Okay, and that's an issue, because you'll start seeing it in your face and your clothes. Again, all of a sudden, the shirts that were, and the clothes and the dresses and stuff that was loose on you or got loose on you when you lost the 18 pounds, now it's starting to feel a little snug, and you're like, why is this feeling like this? Because you done gained some weight back, okay? And so that's what happened. And but I'm not ashamed to come to you and tell you. I don't want to discourage you, though. But I'm just keeping it real with you, so you will know when it happens to you, or if it happens to you, because it happens to us all. But I'm saying it's a reason why it's happening. And you have to deal with that reasoning, and get yourself back on track. And then you have to put something in place to maintain it. And so God brought up the fact that, He brought up the fact to me that I wanted to help people with the motivational thing. I was very interested in that side of it. And I don't know if I can give that away to anybody. I can pray for us to get it, and which I am, and I'm going to have a prayer here on motivation today. But the thing is, I want you to know about it. I'm praying to asking God about motivation, because you need to know what to do when you have setbacks. Because setbacks have to do with motivation. Okay, motivation and setbacks are either minor or they're major. Okay, to me, a minor setback would be the things that happen to us when we choose to eat. I'm going to use the meal planning as an example. When we say we have a plan and we've been on a 6-day meal planning day and 1 regular day of eating. And a minor setback in that would be to where you done started eating 3 days of regular meals and 4 days of meal planning. That's a minor setback. You can easily recover. And that's what I mean by minor. You can easily recover it. A major setback would be is if you change, and start eating regular meals pretty much most of the days of the week, okay? And maybe a couple of days you're meal planning. So now you done flip the table, and you can't keep sustaining your weight loss if you stay there. You have to have more meal planning days in place than you do regular eating, okay? And there's so many creative ways to set that up for yourself, and you set it up based on how your body works, how your appetite works, how you're doing it, okay? And that's how it's going to work for you. It's not going to work for you to use my plan. You take the plan that I'm giving you and you make it fit you. And it's the kind of plan that works that way, okay? So, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, God, I know I have, what I recognized was, I started talking to God and saying, well, you know what, God, I really don't have any real motivation. I have motivations, real reasons for maintaining my weight loss and continuing on in it, and having a lifelong meal planning strategy in place with all these benefits, these good benefits of weekly weight loss and things of that nature, and having control over that in my life, and actually eliminating sickness, illnesses, and diseases, and and things of that nature in my life, with the meal planning in place. But what I found out, I started talking to God about, was motivation. I said, God, you know what? I really don't. The only real motivation I have is I don't want to die, because I'm, having issues with obesity, or, and not being able to maintain my weight loss or continue it as a longevity thing. That's why God gave me a lifelong plan. I have it, but if I don't use it, then it's no good to me. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean the plan doesn't work. It means I'm not working the plan to benefit me. Okay? So that's what happens to anybody. And I wanted to be very transparent with you so you understand, because I'm not worried about, I'm not worried about it in such a way that I gotta hide it from people or something like that. If people see me, they know, well, she's put on a few pounds, or she's lost weight. People notice these things about you that see you on a regular basis. But anyway, I'm bringing it up because it has to do with motivation, okay? And I wanted to see if I could give you something to help you with motivation, in case you already recognize this about yourself, or this has happened to you, and you're saying, I need something more than just the food side of it. We need spiritual health, we need physical health, and we need mental health, okay? We need all these things happening for us, and we need them all to be in a good place. And you can't do it all at one time, but God can help you do it, but you have to be a willing participant in it. And wherever your weaknesses are, when God reveals them to you, you have to go to God and ask God to show you how to overcome it in your life, okay? And so that's basically what I had been talking to God about. And I said, God, I said, I'm in need of the motivational thing, because I'm an older person now, and I have been married for decades, and so I don't think I'm going to get married again. I don't think that that's God's will for me. I've already done that part, and I've already raised children and got grandchildren, things of that nature. So I am not looking for a mate. But that doesn't mean you don't want to look good every time you go out the house. Every time you see step out and see other people, you want to look your best. You want to feel your best. And believe you me, if you're overweight and stuff, you're going to have issues. And that's what keeps you from going places. It keeps you from buying clothes, nicer clothes. It has an effect on how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, and things like that. And you can keep buying new clothes because you keep getting bigger or whatever, but it's not going to make you look better. It's not going to make you feel better on the inside. And so you have to do something about the real problem, and that's the weight, the extra weight. And so the key that I was talking to God about, like I said, and this applies to everybody, is that you need to know what motivates you. If you can't do this, it's all about you doing this for you, okay? You're doing it for your health. You can find out lots of reasons, good reasons as to why you're doing it. But you have to have a strategy so when you start feeling like my motivation is gone, then you know what you can turn to. So I'm going to share with you some tips that I looked up that might help you. And I looked at them and I said, well, how important are these? And so I thought I'd share some with you. And then you can Google it yourself online. If you don't have a home computer, you can go to the library. The libraries are back open again now to the public, and still wear masks, y'all. Okay? You're inside when you're in the library and you're around people at close proximity. So you should wear a mask. I don't care if you had the shot or not. You still should be wearing masks. Just for your own protection and for your health and well-being. Okay, so I'm going to share some things. Now, we're talking about motivation, y'all. We're talking about how to get motivation, how to increase it, and ask yourself, these things and apply them to your life when you're starting to feel like you're not motivated. Because, like I said, I'm not trying to find a man, a new husband. So I don't really care about impressing anybody with my size. I do like to look nice, and I do look nice when I, go out my house each day for the most part. But there's other times when I just throw on, something that I have certain kind of clothes that I call house clothes. And they're nice. Some of them are very nice. And I might wear those just to run somebody, down the street or to the store or whatever. I may not wear it to the store. I generally will dress fully to the store. But, I'm just saying there's certain kind of clothes you wear at certain times in certain places. And the bigger you get, the less options you have for that. So, but I'm just saying, that's something that I would be motivated. I want to look nice, okay? I'm very visual, so I need to look nice. And for the most part, I can say I have not been pleased with the way that I look. There's times when I look very well, in my life, but I love taking pictures, but I don't love taking pictures of me because most of my pictures don't really come out that great. Or I'm not pleased with it. Let me say that. I'm not pleased with it, with what I see, with what the camera is revealing. And sometimes I'm even a little shocked, But then there's times when I'm very pleased. And those have been the times when I've lost the weight and, had kept it off for a while. And so those are good. But I'm speaking about motivation, y'all. And so other motivating things for me that I was tossing back and forth to God about was that being healthy and not being in pain and fear of your life, because I don't care what anybody says. If you overweight, your life is in jeopardy. It's in jeopardy, okay? And you don't know. You can lay down and your heart just stop beating because it's tired of carrying around all that weight, You don't know when that can happen to you. So you need to stay in charge of your health care, knowing where you are with it and knowing what you're doing about it, knowing the positive things that you're doing. That's motivation. And when you don't want to do that, you're in trouble. That means your motivation has disappeared or dropped, decreased drastically, and you need to know how to pick yourself back up. You need to know how to remotivate or to increase your motivation. So that's what ended up being revealed to me as I talked to God about it. I said, God, I don't know, I don't have a lot to motivate myself with, because I'm a people person, but I don't need people around me all the time. You know what I'm saying? I can minister to people and do all those things. I'm an outgoing person in that manner. But at the same time, I'm also a private person, and I can be alone. Me and God, is all I really need. But we do need people in our lives, and so I'm just fooling myself if I think I can do without people, because I cannot. I need to have people. But, you need to know these things about yourself. So, and then you need to deal with them. So I'm talking and dedicating this video on the subject of motivation so that you can find ways to reestablish your motivation so that it won't sabotage your plan, your lifelong meal planning strategy plan that you now have, so that you can continue. And if you find you need a tool that will help you, so that when you find that your motivation has dropped, decreased, you need to be able to know how to get back up again. So this is a tool for motivation, okay? And I'm just sharing some things I found online that will help some people, okay? Hopefully you will benefit from it. So I'll be just reading some things to you. How to stay motivated and reach your big goals in life is what this one's called. And it's by Life Hack. And it's online. And this is just giving you some tips on how to increase your motivation or how to gain motivation. It says it's impossible to expect your motivation levels to remain at 100% all the time. But there are some things you can do to maximize your stores of motivation and push forward for those times when you go down. Here are 5 simple yet effective tips for staying motivated. Find your good reasons is number 1. Find your good reasons as to why you're doing what you're doing, especially for your lifelong meal planning. Why are you doing it? Anything you do, no matter how simple, has a number of good reasons behind it. You may not be able to find good reasons to do some tasks at first, but if you take just a few moments to analyze them, you will easily spot something good. If you're ever stuck with some task you hate and there seems to be no motivation to complete it, it's time to find your good reasons. So this is something I was just saying, okay? And I'm I'm saying that I told God, I'm like, I look at my life and I'm like, I'm not that motivated, to do this. I know I need to keep on going with my meal planning, my lifelong meal planning, but there's times when I've been doing things so long and taking care of myself so long that there's things that I haven't had in a long time. I went out, let me give you an example. I went out to see the movie Aretha with my oldest son, and we had a really good time. But, we ate junk while we were there. We ate popcorn, we ate nacho chips and sauce, and we ate diet soda, diet Pepsi. I haven't had pop in eons, and because pop bloats your stomach, you guys, so don't drink it, okay? And I'm caffeine free, but I did all of that, on Saturday just passed. It's a holiday weekend, but I had a good time with my son, and I probably would have ate some candy if I had got a hold of it, but I didn't. But anyway, I'm just saying, I know I ate stuff that I shouldn't have, that I haven't eaten in a long time, swore off of, but because my motivation was low, I went ahead and did it, And so, and I can't hide from myself, and I'm very integral, so I'm going to say to myself, that was wrong, you shouldn't have did that, and now you're going to have trouble having to go through that again to keep that stuff out of your life. You done tasted it again, you're going to want some more. And so, so you talk to yourself. You got this inner thing going on. And if your inner conversation is all negative, and stuff, you in trouble. So you're going to need to change those to positive things and start and get you some motivational stuff in front of you. And remember these kinds of tips to bring yourself out of it, okay? So the first one I said here, there's supposed to be 5 of them. 5 tips to beef up your motivation or increase it or to restore it and to become motivated again. Find out, why am I doing this? Find your good reasons why you're doing the lifelong meal planning strategy with weekly weight loss. Okay? Find your reasons for doing it, the benefits of it. Some good reasons can be the rewards you're going to get from doing this, the weight loss and having control and not having to spend money on weight loss products that don't work. Personal gain. Being able to look nice in your clothes and feel good in your body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Losing weight does a lot of stuff for you personally. accomplishment, the feeling and the sense of accomplishing these things, and you've been waiting to find something that would work for you, and now you have this lifelong meal planning through our community here that really works. So, that's an accomplishment, and if you use it, you'll see. You lose the first 2 pounds, you just achieved something. You just accomplished losing weight. But I told you, it's not about just losing the weight. It's about maintaining it. Okay? Lifelong. Remember, this is lifelong meal planning with weekly weight loss benefits. Okay? Guaranteed. So, but the longevity of it, the lifelong part of it, is the accomplishment. And that's ongoing. So that's a good reason, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're deciding to utilize this lifelong meal planning strategy, okay? And then it gets you closer to your goals. You want to lose 60 pounds. You can lose 60 pounds in, what is it? If you're losing it, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, say you're losing 8 to 10 pounds every month. It'll take you 6 months to lose 60 pounds, okay? But if you take it month by month, not look at but that's your long-term goal. Your short-term goal is your weekly weight loss, the 2 pounds. That's awesome. Every week you're going to get to see that. And so that's all under number 1, as to thinking of reasons, good reasons, to stay motivated or to get motivated again. And you need to talk to yourself about this. Number 2, there's 5 tips to help you, regain your motivation or restore it or increase it or to get it. Number 2 is make it fun. So while you're doing your lifelong meal planning strategies with weekly weight loss, make it fun, Try to think of some ways to make this enjoyable, maybe planning for new clothes, or finding a sports team that you might want to participate in for the first time. I don't know what your likes and dislikes are, but make it fun for you, and make it a part of, because we don't do exercise on our lifelong meal planning. All we do is stretches every day. Everybody should stretch because it makes your body feel alive and it makes the juices flow and things of that nature, because our plan is for people who could not exercise, okay? Medically, however you want to put it, there's a lot of people who cannot, and so I prayed and asked for a plan that would work, and this plan works without the exercise, okay? And if you exercise, you're going to have to change your calorie intake and things like that to match up with it, so that you are staying healthy while you're doing it. Okay, so the second tip was to make it enjoyable. Find it, add something to your lifelong strategy, meal planning, to make it fun, So number 3, we're talking about motivation, increasing or getting motivation or achieving greater motivation. Number 3, the tip is to change your approach and don't give up. So if you feel like this is just like humdrum, or I'm bored with it already, then do something different in it, and and change the way you're doing it. This is a lifelong meal planning with weekly weight loss. You can change it because it's customized to you. So like I told you, I said what I did was when I changed my approach is this. To my regular eating days. So on my meal planning days, that's what I do most of the time of the week, which is what most of you should be doing. Meal planning most of your days. That means you're eating less on those days, and it's not a regular eating day. Okay? And so I plan, I make sure that if I want to do something, if I want to have a barbecue, like I told y'all when the barbecue thing came up, and we were working in the yard, was trying to put a tent up, and I had my sons in the backyard, and we were working on all that, and we did a barbecue at the same time, and I planned on eating at that barbecue, you know what I'm saying, and none of that food is on my meal planning, but and so I counted that as my regular day, and actually, I counted the next day as a regular day too, because we had food left over from the barbecue, And I'm not throwing that food away unless there was something wrong with it. I give food away, and whatever we have extra still left, then we eat on that. And so that's what I did. And so that's the way. And if you're going on vacation, you meal plan on the days before your vacation, and then you go on your vacation and eat whatever you want. And then when you come off your vacation, you come back. That's changing your approach, making changes. And and that's how come this is a lifelong meal planning strategy, because it works. It works no matter what you're doing for the rest of your life. It works. And so you don't ever have to give up control over your weight loss ever again. You'll still have it going on. You'll still be achieving your weight loss and better health and full control over what's happening with you and your health. And you'll be coming off of medications if you're on them as the doctor sees what's happening with you and stuff. Don't just take yourself off of it, but do and show. Do the planning. Use the meal planning, the lifelong meal planning strategies. Put it in place in your life and let it work for you. And then you work the plan according to who and how you live, okay? Number 4, the strategy is recognize your progress. Every week you get to see progress. You're going to lose 2 to 4 pounds every week. Make sure you get on that scale, at the same time, same kind of clothing, same time of the day, okay? And weigh yourself in weekly and put it in your journal. You can either write on your meal planning sheet at the top and keep track of it. Recognize it and keep track of it. If you keep track of it, you're recognizing it. And that's enough to be happy about. To look on your scale every week and see that you're losing instead of gaining, that's progress. So recognize that and be happy about it and celebrate that within yourself. Just be happy about it. And then the final thoughts here are, now that you have these 5 ways of staying motivated, you can use it to stay motivated, to get motivated again, or to increase your motivation. Use those tips to do that with. It's a good moment to give you the key to them all. Mix and match, which is what I was saying. You take the tools that people are sharing with you, and I want to keep it as simple as possible so that you're not overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff you got to do. This is stuff that you can do in your sleep, you do every day. It's not something that's really taxing on your mind or on you physically in no way, and you can do this. These are helpful to you. This will work. It says pick one of the techniques and apply it to all your situations. So if you're not ready to apply all 5 of the techniques, which was, let me read it to you again, all 5 of the techniques. Number 5 was reward yourself. I don't think I said that. Number 5 was the reward yourself. Feeling down about doing something, dread the idea of working on a particular task, or hate the whole idea of working, or, you're not feeling your program for some reason. You've been doing it. Say you've been doing the lifelong meal strategy planning for 3 months, and maybe you're not feeling like it's really, you're not really feeling so great about it. Reward yourself, and don't when you reward yourself, don't sabotage your whole plan, but reward yourself, and if you go a little overboard or whatever, just remember that you have a strategy, a lifelong meal strategy plan in place that can help you recover if you decide to indulge, for a minute. Okay? So 5 was reward yourself. But there's many other ways you can reward yourself. Take a trip, whatever. There's lots of different things you can do, okay, to reward yourself. So whatever some of those rewards are, plan for them. And then treat yourself and use it when you are feeling your lowest, when you're feeling down, you're not feeling very motivated to keep on doing your program, because this is a lifelong program. Just remember, this is something that's going to last you and work for you for the rest of your life. And you got to tell yourself, I don't want to give it up because I know it works, So number 4 was recognize your progress. And that's the weighing yourself every week. You got progress every week on that scale with this program. Lifelong meal planning with weekly weight loss. guaranteed. So number 3 was change your approach and don't give up. Number 2 was make it fun. And number 1, find your good reasons as to why you are doing a lifelong meal planning with weekly weight loss guarantee strategy. Okay? And so this was on the subject of what to do about our motivation, because if we're not motivated, the reason why I had to do this because I was having problems with it, and God brought it out to me, and because I have reasons why I didn't really care, but we need to care. It's not like you don't really care. It's just there's some other reason that's pulling on you more than all your reasons that you do care. It might be one reason why you don't care, and it's weighing you down. And you need to get out from under that, so you need help. And it's affecting your motivation. That's why I had to bring it out, is because we need help when that happens to us, okay? So that's why we're talking about motivation today. In our lifelong meal planning, we want to make sure that we are able to have tools and know about them, be aware of them, be aware of the problems and how this tool can help you with that problem. Because as long as you got answers, you don't have excuses. You know, and the only other excuse we can have is that I don't feel like doing it. And that still stems with motivation. So you want to go back to and find your motivation, okay, in that. And I'm looking for one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. If I can pick it back up. I'm online, and I'm trying to find the things that I picked out for us for today, and sharing it with you. Because whatever, that's what this whole thing is all about. One of them said, reward your progress and keep a journal, which is part of I liked this one because it was like only 3 tips. The one I just gave you was 5. The one this next one was, it said, there's 3 tips for success with this. And you're maintaining your weight loss and your lifelong meal planning journey was to reward your progress, focus on the positives and stuff, and build momentum in that, and look forward to your next time you accomplish something. And that could be every week, and at the end of 30 days there's another milestone that you're reaching. So reward your progress. Keep a journal. I told you can use the meal planning things to be your journal, because it talks to you. It shows you your life. It shows you your life through your eating, okay, and your accomplishments. It shows you that. If you write your weekly weight loss on there, it shows you that. So that's your journal. It can become your journal as well. So you ain't got to go set off a separate journal unless you want to. Review your goals regularly. Okay, so every 30 days you might want to review with yourself and say, well, is this realistic goal? And I'm trying to get to 60 pounds weight loss. Okay, and I think that if you're using this plan that we have, the strategy, the lifelong meal planning strategy, it's a 2 to 4 pound every week weight loss guarantee. Okay, and therefore it's a healthy place of weight loss, and so it's realistic. And if you're following that, it's realistic. Okay, the only way maybe you might feel like maybe it's unrealistic because you don't want to wait for 6 months, to get to your 60 pound weight loss. Well, you can get there in a hurry, but you won't be able to sustain it. And that's why this plan is better than I told you, the 23 days to a brand new you Daniel Foundation fast that we have. It's better than that one, So a quick weight loss is great, but then you need a plan to sustain it. Now you can put the 2 plans together. You can do the quick weight loss and lose the 60 pounds in a hurry, and then you're going to have to put in the lifelong meal planning strategy in place to follow that up so that you can maintain it and have a lifelong meal planning strategy to maintain your 60 pound weight loss. Okay, so I liked this one, so that's why I mentioned it to you. And it was only 3 tips. Reward your progress, keep a journal, review your goals regularly. Okay, so with that one said, I'm looking for another one. And then we're going to get to the prayer here soon. As soon as I'm looking, y'all, so just hold on. I'm online, like I told you, and I had looked up some stuff ahead of time that I wanted to just review with you. Okay, so, and this is the final part of our session today on the lifelong meal planning strategy with weekly weight loss. And our subject today to share with you as a tool is motivation. And we've given you 5 tips, and then we gave you 3 tips just a minute ago. And now I told you I'm going to pray or play a prayer for motivation for us today, okay? And so just listen to the prayer as it goes forth, okay? It's just a couple of minutes. We can all use prayer, you know, to help us. So, I'm trying to get it to go, but it should be coming up in a minute here. Okay, and this is a prayer for motivation, which was our topic of discussion today. I'm sorry, I'm just having a little bit delay here.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for the Your Daily Prayer podcast. We hope these few moments of prayer and reflection are encouraging to you as you go about your day. To get all our episodes straight to your phone during the week, just subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. To find more prayers, devotional content, and blog posts, we would love for you to join us at ibelieve.com. A Prayer for Motivation by Dr. Tony Evans. The conclusion, when all has been heard, is, fear God and keep His commandments, because this applies to every person. Ecclesiastes 12:13. You don't have to go to seminary to know that the 2 most important things that God would have you do on earth are to love Him with all your heart, soul, and mind, and to love others as you love yourself. Understanding these authoritative principles governs your personal life. In the words of Solomon, fear God and keep His commandments, because this applies to every person. Since God's word is the authority in our personal lives, and since He has specific instructions for us to keep, where do we get the motivation to keep His word? To the unrighteous, it will be the fear of judgment. The motivation for the righteous is appreciation for God's grace. You and I keep God's word out of gratitude because we recognize it's by His grace that we are even here. All the motivation Israel needed to keep the 10 Commandments was provided back in Exodus 22, before the commands were given. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. If you know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior, He has set you free. Duty ought to rise out of devotion. He shouldn't be begging you to keep His commandments. Not only that, the motivation comes in knowing that God only backs His own book. If you want God's authority and power to override your circumstances, rather than continually being under your circumstances, then start aligning your personal life according to His word. Heavenly Father, help us to keep your commands and reflect your love to our neighbors. Give us the motivation to be the good and faithful servants you have called us to be. Help us have the passion and perseverance to get up and live out your commands every day. Let us be disciples who yearn to celebrate your glory. Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you were able to hear that prayer And yes, it was a Christian prayer because we are a Christian channel, okay? But I'm praying that God will help us to have motivation and to use the tool of motivation to be able to accomplish, our lifelong meal planning. Because many times we might have the tools to do something. Sometimes it's because we don't have the tools. But other times it's because we have the tools and then we don't do anything with them. So I'm praying also, and with that prayer, is that we would use the tools. That God would motivate us to use the tools that are being given us. Because if we don't use what we're being given, then nobody can help us. Okay? Just know that. You got to help yourself too. So part of it is kick-starting with the tools that you have that will work, knowing that the tools that you have in your hands will work. That's motivation right there. And then using it is the other motivation. And then what we were talking about today is motivation, and that's keep on using it, to keep on using it, to keep on using it, okay? And pray for strength, and that's what I pray, is for God to continue to motivate us and motivate our plan, that our plans will motivate us. Our individual lifelong meal planning strategies will motivate us to keep on going and to keep on applying this good thing to our lives that will make us healthier, happier, and just feel good about being alive, and being here and going forward. Okay? So I pray that God's blessings be upon your day. As a servant of the Lord, I'm admonished to pray blessings over people's lives, and I do so in Jesus' name. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. Good day, people. The city of our God, there is a river whose stream make glad the city of our God, and I will rejoice, I will rejoice and be glad. I will rejoice, I will rejoice, and be glad. I will rejoice, I will rejoice, I will rejoice, I will rejoice, and be glad. You've been so good, I will rejoice, I will rejoice, and be glad. You guys glad today? I know I am. I rejoice. Hallelujah. I rejoice, Lord. From Emmanuel's name. Oh, yeah. From Emmanuel's name. So glad. There's a fountain. So full of grace that flows. From Emmanuel's name. Jesus Christ. So I live for myself. He came and healed me. He came and refreshed me. And He came and washed my sins away.